Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mary, and together we own Natural Plus Nursery in Clear Lake, Iowa.
We are your favorite backyard nursery, serving North Iowa since 1978. We sell trees, shrubs, and perennials and love sharing our seasonal family business with our kids and you.
Here you'll learn about the plants you buy from us, how to care for them, and never before told behind the scenes look at our lives as nursery owners. This is the dirt from Natural Plus. Here we grow. Hello, welcome to The Dirt with Natural Plus Nursery. I'm Mary Hopper, and I have a guest here today, Johanna. She is our vendor from one of the nurseries that we have gotten trees, shrubs, perennials from for probably 47 years, a long, long time. And so I brought Johanna here today to answer some of our pressing questions, the questions that we are curious about with the plants and what to plant and where to plant and why we want to plant certain things and all the things. So we're going to jump in today. Johanna, can you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Good morning, Mary. Thanks everyone for watching or listening. My name is Johanna George, and I'm a territory sales rep with Bailey Nurseries. Bailey Nurseries celebrated 120 years in business in 2025. It's a family-owned business, much like Natural Plus, headquartered in St. Paul, Minnesota. We have growing operations across 5 states, and we're a wholesale nursery. So we're doing breeding work from the ground up and supply garden centers, nurseries, landscapers, and other growers with anywhere from starter material all the way through finished product that the homeowner is ready to take and install. I've been in the industry over 20 years, mostly at retail garden centers, and a huge background in design, and joined Bailey Nurseries in 2024 as a sales rep. So excited to join you today, Mary, and talk plants.
I'm also excited. You have been a wealth of knowledge for us. We've learned so much from you just in the 2 years that we've gotten to know you. So thank you for that already. And I can't wait to share this knowledge with our customers and our friends who are listening or watching today. I would love to talk about natives, and you use the word nativar in your email that we talked about what we're going to talk about today. And what does native actually mean? And I would love to hear your opinion. I said maybe your top 5 native plants, but you can choose whatever number you want or share about how you use native plants in your yard and why we should plant natives.
We're totally on whatever. This topic is huge right now. Natives are huge. And I don't think it's going to slow down. I don't trend. I don't want, I'm not going to use the word trend. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But this is a very popular topic currently. Natives are a plant that is indigenous to an area. So it was there before you and me, before anyone, kind of. It's native. It was found there. That's where it came from. So we have plants that are native to Asia and Europe and all continents, all locations, and it changes even within a state. You can see with the landscape change, you'll see natives change just a little bit. Changes with soil type or bedrock, that sort of thing. Nativar is a cultivated variety of a native species or a cross between a couple species. Nativars are typically created with the concept of improving some quality of that native. So in general, planting natives, super beneficial to soil, wildlife. They typically require less input on our behalf because you're planting them where they would naturally be anyways, or restoring an area. Nativars, maybe it's been bred to increase the bloom time, or maybe it's another color or a different mature size, made it more compact, let it be, possibly crossed and end up a little bit bigger. Nativars continue to show up at the nursery, at the garden center for the homeowner. And I think there's maybe a couple types of people that want to strictly plant native. They want that native genus and species. They don't want a cultivar after. There are also people that are open to planting nativars or cultivars. And I kind of float between the two, but it depends on the plant and when it is bred or developed to, say, have more moisture tolerance. That may be super applicable for me in an area that I couldn't have planted that native before because it would have drowned out. Well, now here's this, nativar or cultivar that is more moisture tolerant. So there's usually a benefit to that cultivar, to that development.
How do you know if a plant is native?
Well, that's a really good question. And so I'm in southern Minnesota. We have a couple websites that are really, really great for cross-referencing where, like a map of where something's native. There's a Minnesota Wildflowers website that's really great. The USDA has a website that'll show a map of something's native range. I can provide you with a list of links and you can have them on hand for your
Yes.
customers as
Yes,
well.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, there's a couple native plant nurseries in Minnesota and Wisconsin that also do a great job with a map, even one down in Missouri too, that show the range of a plant. So in general, it's great to reference, reputable sources, not just a Reddit post or a blog by someone that says this is native, but USDA, your Department of Ag, the state, you should be able to find all that information. And natives, I mentioned pollinator habitat. They also, benefit us for like soil retention or, winter spaces for animals, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of different applications that both a native or a cultivated variety of a native will fill. As far as you asked me about my favorites, I don't know that I can quite
A tough one.
do that. So a little bit about me. So we're on a rural acreage here in southern Minnesota. So we have woods, water, and prairie all on our property. And 6 years ago, when we built this home, bought this property, built this home, I started kind of recouping this area that was prairie. Then it was farmed for 25, 30 years, and then it was left to go fallow. And so a lot of natives have come back in that area, but I've also been actively planting established plants out there so they would produce seed and then hopefully keep going all on their own. I have to put the grasses at the top of my favorites list. Little blue stem, big blue stem, regular switchgrass, prairie dropseed, and I love prairie dropseed in the landscape. I just love those little fine textured mounds of grass, and they're spiky, seed head, and I think they're great among catmint and junipers, and I just think it's a great grass to use in the landscape in general. So I'd have to put grasses on in my favorites list. I have some crazy other prairie favorites like rattlesnake master. It's not something that we offer, but we are continuously, that's the coolest thing about being a breeder and a large plant nursery is we look at what do we need to bring in? What kind of crops do we need to switch out? Where's the demand at the nursery and the garden center? Do we need to increase our natives? Do we need to increase our perennials? Or, are we looking for more shrub varieties? So that's kind of, again, we have to forecast 7 years out, 10 years out, but there's some really unique prairie natives that I love as well as woodland natives like Jack in the Pulpit and Dutchman's Breeches. And there's not a lot of, you know, woods and creek and, for people to own property to have those natives. There's a lot of, state parks and that sort of thing that have woodland natives on them, but they're kind of on my top, they're a little unique, little different things that are, exciting. But what I would say that would be more applicable for a homeowner, Mary, is like aronia or chokeberry. There's cultivated varieties, but there's also the native black chokeberry. And a plant like that, it blooms in the spring. It has edible fruit on it. You can eat it. A bird can eat it. It has beautiful red foliage. It like rivals a burning bush when it comes to fall color. So looking at, here's a nice 5-foot shrub. It's got kind of an upright vase-shaped habit, easy to use in the landscape, and its cultivated varieties are also easy to use in the landscape and provide so much interest. Other, elderberries, hazelnut, viburnums, cranberry bush, kind of larger landscape shrubs, but again, kind of dual purpose. You need a screen between you and your neighbor, or you want to hide your neighbor's deck from your deck. Pick a nativar like standing ovation serviceberry. It's, upright, or this probably a little bit taller, 10 to 12 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide, makes a perfect screen between you and your neighbor. And the bloom will benefit those early pollinators, those early bugs that are emerging because it'll bloom so early in the year. So I think some advice for your customers is if they want to dabble in it, see what spaces they have and they want, have to plant in, and then let's talk about what's available and what would work in that space. Does that make sense?
Yes. I love
Yes.
it. You're making me so excited for spring, and serviceberry is at the top of my list for things I know I need to plant more of in my yard. So
Yep.
very excited. I don't have a neighbor that I need to block, but I'm like, where can
No,
I put a
you don't.
serviceberry block? I love this.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that serve dual purpose, and to me, I look at it as if I can accomplish what I'm looking to accomplish with a native or a cultivated variety of a native, that'll probably be my first choice. And then I'll look at, other ornamentals. If they're more applicable for the space, absolutely great. I always weigh if something is, beneficial for our pollinators, if there's any other known pest or disease issues with it, like, here, and same with you, Eastern red cedar is a native tree. Cedar trees are everywhere. Well, they're a host for cedar apple rust. So where I have my apple trees, so there's a little bit of a double-edged sword, but I would pick a variety of apple that is more cedar apple rust resistant. But natives in general, like I said at first, they usually require less input from us. And are durable and will stand the test of time, and they're true to seed, so you can collect and resow or start indoors, that sort of thing if you're interested, and can be kind of a fun project too.
If you're a plant geek.
Yeah, right.
Like us.
Yeah.
That is a great answer to that question. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, you're welcome.
This was such a great conversation. I'm going to have you back if you're open. I'm
Thanks,
sure there
Mary.
will be more as the
Appreciate.
season starts. We're going to have more questions for you, but for now, that was
Yes, of course.
thank you for your time and your energy. And I can tell that you're really passionate about what you do, and that's inspiring.
Yeah, same. Thanks to you and Dave. You guys have a beautiful place there. It's a joy to come and see you every time I visit. And we hope to continue to provide you with quality plant material and be an extended resource for you.
Thank you. And listener, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to The Dirt from Natural Plus Nursery. If you dug this episode, subscribe to our newsletter so you never miss a tip, sale, or a behind the scenes look at our nursery business. Happy planting!